Hi friends, I'm the vegan. I make a hazelnut cream pie today, or tart, as you like. A very special ingredient here, Irish moss. I will show you in a moment for the cream. That's always, in raw food cake, there's always the filling that has to be firm. And there's always the question how to make that. That's a little bit interesting, and I always experiment with that. I have a wonderful solution for you today. With the Irish moss, I'll show you in a moment, but first I make the crust. And it is a hazelnut cream cake. That means the hazelnut flavor should be in the foreground. I begin with the crust, also with hazelnuts this time, an exception. Usually I use almonds. That's my easiest crust, almonds and dates. I have a food processor fitted with the S-plate. You see, the S-plate. That is a perfect tool to make a crust. That's why I got the food processor in the first place. Otherwise, it's really a lot of work to get a good crust. If you don't have a food processor, you can take a cutting board and a chef's knife and to do the whole thing with the nuts and the dates on the board. Or you can buy the nut flour. Yeah, you can buy that nut meal. Yeah, but I make it in the food processor fresh. That's best here. 1.5 cups of hazelnuts. Now coming to the measurements, I show you a springform, just to have an idea. This is a little bit larger springform. This is like a little bit more than 20 centimeters, you see. 20 centimeters, a little bit more. Fill it with lined with parchment paper to make it easier. Springform. And that's how much I need in nuts. So 1.5 cups of hazelnuts, and I will add some macadamia nuts. They're a little bit more fatty and have a lot of protein too. Nice, and have also a little bit of strong flavor. And I guess that's nice together with the hazelnuts. Hazelnuts are a very special flavor too. A little bit round like boxes they taste. Not like the card box, but like the shape of the flavor somehow. A little bit like that. I don't know how to describe it. Earth-like, a little bit more firm, a little bit masculine flavor. I don't know how to express. It's crazy. I just begin now to process the hazelnuts with the macadamia nuts. I always process the nuts first without the dates. That saves some time. Course meal is ready, and the hazelnuts and the macadamias, they process a little bit faster than the almonds. Yeah, you see, and this is the course meal I want. And when I put the almonds in before, together with the nuts in the beginning, then it takes a lot more time, or a little bit more time, to get the same degree of fine of coarseness. Yeah. So once the dates are in, it takes some more time. So I separate it and have now 15 dates or so. These are small dates, you see, not the large ones, the small ones. They're pitted, of course, and they are soft. And the harder they are, the longer, of course, it takes to process them. So with 15 dates, I get to stick it out pretty easy. Sticky dough is done. This is how sticky it is. I show you. Yeah, you can watch it from above when the processing is going on. You see, and then there is this this vortice that builds in the dough from the blades, and then it's ready. I press it together and it keeps together in a sticky dough. So that's what I want. And with the macadamias, that's also easier to obtain because macadamias are a little more fat. A little more fat content. So when the fat comes out of the nuts, you have this sticky effect also. Not only from the dates, but also from the fat in the oil, in the nuts, from the fat in the nuts. So I put it all together in my springform. If I process too long, then I get a marzipan. The marzipan is too sticky, for a nice crust. That's why you have to balance a little bit, not too far and not too early, not too short. First now I spread all of the dough, the sticky dough, evenly. Once I begin to press it down with more weight, of my body, then I can't shape it anymore. Not so easy. So first, to shape it easily, spread it easily, evenly, and then once it's spread, I begin to press it down more firmly with the fist, with the knuckles. I can put my whole body weight onto that crust, and it will take some time now, because here I have to work thoroughly, because when I cut out a piece out of the cake, it should be keeping together. So see you in a moment. So my crust is done. That's what it looks like. Show you. Take some time to press it down, like kneading a dough in a traditional baking. But with the raw food, it's also easy. But a little bit of work, of hand work, is there too in this part. Press it down. So that's nice now. Put it aside and I'll make the filling now. That is always, as I said before, it is always the crucial part to get the filling firm. There are so many ways to make it. Today, very special, I have this Irish moss. I talked before about here. Irish moss, this is an algae that grows in the ocean and harvested in the ocean, and they lay it down on the beach. In huge quantities, has been harvested in Ireland. It's Irish moss, for generations. It's the main food in Ireland. Everywhere when people live on the coast, they eat sea vegetables. They are super healthy. There have been some debates about Irish moss recently, but they're not be confirmed, because if something is really a traditional food for hundreds and hundreds of years, and the people are thriving on it, why would you think that if you want to have evidence, that it is not healthy, then you have to really be a strong evidence that it's really firm and it's solid and proof. But with the Irish moss, these debates, I don't think that they're really conclusive. I read all the studies about it and I thought, no, that's not really evidence. Okay, but the discussions are going on, and to me, it is a great food. It's very healthy. It's high in minerals. Then there's a lot of, this carrageen. Carrageen is a stuff. It's a substance that builds bones, and it's used in the food industry a lot. And that's also why these discussions have come up. They use carrageen. I don't know how they produce it, but they use it in big quantities to make sauces and creams firm and to gel up and so. And they use it also in the pharmacy to the bones, the skin, the hair, and everything. But if you begin to use it industrialized, then discussions can occur, because how the way to process it, how to produce it. I don't know, but this has been organic, and it's harvested in the sea as is, and it dried. And because it's dried, it has also to be soaked, and that usually when I use Irish moss, I soak it overnight, and then I wash it and rinse it, because usually there is sand in there and other substances. But in this case, I will soak it directly in milk. Here is hazelnut milk. I made this hazelnut milk before, and how to make it, you can watch a video. It's linked also under the video. If you haven't seen the video yet, you can watch it. And this is with cinnamon and dates. My other hazelnut milk, the first one was only hazelnuts. Then I made one with raisins and cinnamon. This one is with dates and cinnamon. Just for the variety. Nut milks are such a variety. And I will now blend the Irish moss in the hazelnut milk. I do not soak it, that means overnight, because I want to have it directly in the milk. So I put maybe 3 cups of this creamy milk. It takes some time, it takes some quantity, so I begin with 3 cups or so. Just about, a little bit more than half a liter to begin, and 50 grams of this Irish moss. So 50 grams. And it tastes a little bit salty. That's why this is sea vegetable. Most of the sea vegetable have this flavor. But of course, I mean, a sea vegetable has this flavor, and then you can use it especially in some recipes. I would use it to firm up, to gel up the cream, yeah, to make it firmer. It's a binder, a thickener. But in chocolate, it's perfect. Yeah? Chocolate loves a little bit of salt. That's why I guess for chocolate creams or chocolate cakes, the Irish moss is perfect. So I will blend it now and see if I get a creamy texture. Maybe it takes some time, so I'll come back in a moment. Let's say it's blended, and now you can watch. It's a little bit warm now, but that helps also the blending. Yeah. Doesn't really matter, because when you blend sometime with these high-speed blenders, that will warm up, of course, it heat up, but it's still okay, it's not too hot. You can easily touch it, no problem. So if you don't have a power blender, you want to blend a little bit longer, and don't worry, you just have to blend it really creamy, otherwise it doesn't work. Yeah, first the gel, it's supposed to gel up, yeah, like a gelatin of plants, of course. Supposed to gel up, so that needs to be very, very creamy and smooth. So you need to blend it really long and thoroughly, otherwise it doesn't work. So with a not so expensive blender, not so strong blender, it might take some more time, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. So now the cream is ready. And it's creamy. I mean, I put in the other ingredients, 2 of the other ingredients. I have some dates here, and I have a cacao powder. And this is 5 teaspoons, half a cup cacao powder, and again 15 or 20 dates to make it sweet. Yeah, chocolate is nice when it's salty, but also has to be at the same time sweet. There is something special with chocolate, the salt and cream and the sweet together. The very special part of chocolate. And I will put in a little bit more of hazelnut milk, a little bit more, because the cream is very thick now, and it will cause a little bit problem for the cacao powder. It is very sticky, of course. There's no water in there, just a fine powder. Just another cup or so to get the blending perfect. So one more blender dance. I want to be careful here when the sound of the blender goes up, especially when I have a firm cream, a heavy cream like this. The blender has a problem, yeah, and I have to be careful that not to overwork the blender. And that is not good for the blender and not for the cream. So I rather be careful and help the mass turn over. I just have this scraper here and just help it a little bit. That's all. Yeah. It's not a problem. It happens sometimes, so you don't need to worry either about this. Just stop for a moment, help the cream to pull over, to turn over, scrape it down the sides, and that's all I need to do here. So I will now do a little bit more blending. It's at the same time a good sign if the blender is at its limits, because then I know the cream is not too runny. You always want to have the perfect texture. So again, I have to watch. Yeah, there's always when the blades are running, they pull down the mess, and if the mess is firm, they pull down air, and there's an air bubble above the blades. And this air bubble keeps the blender from working correctly, because in the air there is nothing but air, so the filling has to be blended, not the air. That's why we also have to help it turn over a little bit. But that looks now pretty creamy. I will have another look. I will taste it, the creaminess. Not bad. It's a nice flavor. The saltiness is there. Very nice. So, well, okay. I guess I can do it now. It's creamy enough. And I will put a last ingredient in there. And that is the coconut oil. That is also to firm it up. Ultimately, I have just a cup with hot water and a little container of metal with the coconut oil. When you put the coconut oil, into this container and the hot water is here, it melts in minutes. It's very easy. You see, it's liquid now. And the last ingredient I put in is the coconut oil. Because if I put it in earlier, before, then it might end up sticking to the walls of the container, and then it's not in the cream. To make it firm, it's here on the walls, so it has to be blended in at last. It's again, you hear when it goes up, the air bulb collects over the blades, and I simply have to help to turn it over again. Then all the coconut oil is in the cream, and one more blending here to really incorporate everything. And the texture is nice, and of course the coconut oil is also an important flavor ingredient, part of the flavor. It definitely changes the flavor, the coconut oil. It makes it taste creamier and gentler. Now the chocolate is a very raw flavor, and together with the sea salt from the sea vegetables, and now the coconut oil makes it gentler. Now let's see. One more blending, I hope. It looks good now. Let's see. Yeah, I show you what it looks like. So when this kind of blossom, you see from the top this blossom texture kind of shape here, then you know the blending is perfect, because the blossom shapes and then the whole texture is even. So I taste it again. I'm very curious now with the coconut oil. Amazing. Wow, seriously chocolate cake. So I put it all now just on the crust into the spring form. Of course, I won't waste now anything here in the container. That is such a precious filling here. The coconut oil by itself, then the cacao powder is very, very precious, and the Irish moss also has its price. So the dates, of course, all first-class ingredients. So I don't want to waste it if possible. Such a nice creamy texture I see here. So the cake doesn't need to be so high, so thick, because the chocolate, of course, is very dense, very rich in calories, and we all know there's a lot of healthy substance in the chocolate. We don't want to miss. Many people love chocolate for a very good reason. It's healthy too, if we have it in moderation. It has definitely health benefits. There's no need to avoid chocolate at all. No, it's very good. And coffee too, and black tea and green tea. All of these things are very healthy. There is no need to worry about it. Everything, especially the chocolate, in moderation, has its own health benefits. So, check out with Dr. Greg if you don't believe me. You should always check. The science should be sound, and what we know today, what we can tell today, there is no reason to be concerned about chocolate. So, if you are fine with it, if you feel great and well after eating chocolate, go ahead. Yeah, I definitely love it. Not too much. Yeah, sometimes a little bit of chocolate, and sometimes I don't want to eat chocolate. Sometimes and I don't do it. But once in a while, I'm really a fan. Now this cake is a really highlight. I have to spread it evenly now, and that's pretty much all I have to do. And when it's even, I will put a foil on top. And then I put it in the refrigerator overnight, and tomorrow I can cut the first piece out of it. I will show you. And before I cut the piece out of it, it will be firming up, and then I come back and show you. So this will be another day when I come back, but I can already show you now what it looks like this wonderful firm cream. And nice, not too thick, you see, but still orderly. So thanks for watching. See you in a moment, and I cut it. It will be tomorrow. So I would say it's done. I hope so. It feels great. Yeah, firm enough. See, this is what it looks like when the foil is on top. And after one day now, there are no puddles here, because here a little bit of air from the foil. But without the foil, there would have been now water all over, little puddles, droplets. And that is not nice, because the color of the surface of the cake, that will change lighter and dark. And it's not that bad, but it is. I'd rather avoid it. So I put the foil on top, and I keep the foil. I won't throw it away. Here, this is the foil. I put it here, and we'll keep it. And if I ate a piece of that cake, put the foil back into the fridge. For now, I open it, and the first thing I have to open now is the springform on the side. There is a little thing that is to open it, and now I will see if the cake keeps together. No. So I have to use a little knife here. Yeah, it has to be flexible, you see, and thin. So I can easily go in between the cake and the side of the form. And that is easy. I can already see this is the texture of the Irish moss. That makes the texture very nice. Yeah. Also, it adds a nice flavor because of its slightly salty flavor from the sea salt in the Irish moss. And both texture and flavor are very special. And I can check now the flavor of the chocolate cream, the hazelnut cream. Not too sweet. Very nice. Very good. Wow. Hazelnutty, right? Very cool. Oh yeah, very nice. So now I can open it. So easy, it's like this. I put that onto the foil. That's easy. And now I can show you my cake. Here. It's on the crust now. Here there's a hazelnut macadamia crust you see here. It's a little bit different than usual. Hazelnut and macadamia. Usually I use almonds. This is a nice filling. It's not too thick as you see, but the chocolate together with the hazelnuts, it is a very filling too, yeah? So I don't need to have a thick cake here. They're very, more like a tart or so. So now I will cut a piece out of the cake. And it should be easy with this kind of filling. And I can use the parchment paper. I showed that in another recipe also, in another video. I can use the parchment paper to hold the cake from the side without touching it with the finger. So now I put the knife right in the middle. I push it down to the bottom. Now I have to be very thoroughly again, because when I take out a piece of the cake, I need to make sure that the crust is completely cut. So I need to be very precise and slow here. one more time. Also is to say for the beginning of the cut in the middle, I really have to cut down over the middle, right through the center, to cut, also to cut the tip of the piece. Should be complete. So now I should be able to take out a piece of the cake. I will use the same knife, that is easy here. With this knife is no problem. Just to show you. And, oh, perfect. See the perfect shape of this cake, this piece? Wonderful, right? All sides perfect. What do you ask for? I will put it on a plate now, right in the middle of the plate, to make it nice. Here, and then what I will, that's what I can enjoy right now, or serve it to my friends. Perfect piece. And I could also decorate some raspberries, whatever you like. Raspberries would be perfect, whatever you like. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And well, find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. MD Vegan. You can also subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. And if you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up. Now, this would be a nice way to serve and decorate a hazelnut tart together with some raspberries, right?